Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to Gallowgate Shots with me, Andy, bringing you another episode of the Away Say, looking ahead to Leicester City on Friday night. This week, joined by Christian from FIRST4LCFC. Thanks for coming on, Christian.
No worries, my pleasure.
Absolutely. So I'm going to go straight in with the hard-hitting questions and talk about your former owner and chairman, Vichai. I was practicing his surname before, but I'm not going to embarrass him or myself, so I'm just going to call him Vichai. Because he's obviously Leicester City legend, Premier League legend, and the sort of owner that Newcastle fans could only ever dream of. And I thought, while I had a Leicester fan on, just wanted to get your take on, the impact he's had at Leicester and the legacy he's likely to leave behind.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, you could go on for ages talking about Vichai. He was a great man, and the good thing is his legacy will live on for as long as Fox's fans are around, I hope. So, I mean, ultimately, I'll give you a little history and I'll give you some highlights on what he did for the club, really. So in February 2011 is when he took over and instantly cleared £103 million worth of club debt, which was left behind by Milan Mandaric. I think his first sort of big signing, if you like, was Jamie Vardy at the time.
That's a decent first signing.
Yeah, first £1 million player to come out of non-league. And I think some of the potent words he said was, I'll help you, Jamie. I'll do anything you need. Obviously, from Jamie's background, straight away you could see how great a man the chairman was. And then as soon as we got promoted from the Championship in 2014, he pledged straight away, I want to be top 5 within 3 years. How many owners can, say that with a straight face and with such confidence? And obviously, we went on to win the league, a few years later. That's incredible. But yeah, otherwise, I mean, in terms of what he does for the community, not only the football club, over the past few years, he's donated £1 million to a children's hospital, £1 million to another research medical project. So, it goes on. And even for little things like it would have been his birthday the week before last, I think, and it's free pints, free cupcake for all the fans. It's the little gestures like that, and he has left a legacy behind. But he was a great man, and I think now that his sons sort of took the reins, I don't doubt that anything will change, really.
Yeah, 100%. I think obviously people knew. Obviously, it was worldwide news when you won the league, but I think when he passed away, I don't think anyone other than Leicester fans really realised the impact he had on the community as well. I mean, when it all came out about the hospitals and the things with the pints and the cakes, I think everyone took the mick initially, but people thought, bloody hell, that's amazing how they do that. And you compare and contrast that to the owner we've got, and it's obviously no secret in the football community that Newcastle fans not really a massive fan of Mike Ashley, and he's probably the polar opposite of someone like Vichai, where he just looks at football as being numbers on a spreadsheet, does not give a monkeys about the local community. You would never believe in a million years that he's actually a football fan, because he just does not seem to give a shit about football. Is it easy to see from a Leicester fan's point of view, or an outside point of view generally, why Newcastle fans can be so, can they just give up on football sometimes and just completely disillusioned with the way we're being run at the minute?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think it is, like you said, polar opposites, really. I think not just being a Leicester fan, but I think we probably have got the best owners in the Premier League, and maybe the best owners, certainly pushing in European, if not world football. And obviously, when you contrast that with someone like Mike Ashley, it is sad to see in football, because it's not just at Newcastle. There's other clubs who are starting to get run like a business, and football's such a lucrative business to be in. It is sad to see the games going in certain respects, and there's not a lot the fans can do about it. I mean, obviously that's something more than me, but protesting or things like that, it's not going to get Mike Ashley out. He's sat behind big TV screen somewhere. He's not even at the game half the time, and he's just counting his money, like you say. So I certainly sympathise, but it makes us realise how lucky we are here as Leicester fans.
Yeah, you're right. He doesn't go to a lot in the games. I think the last game he was at, there was lots of anti-Ashley chants, and he just sat there smirking in his seat. And I think that just tells you everything. I think the main problem has been, we're obviously not expecting to do what Leicester have done and go on this incredible run out of absolutely nowhere and win a league. But it's the fact that we don't even know if we could win a trophy, because we don't even try. We're literally probably one of the only football clubs in the country who just does not want to try and win anything. We're just a vehicle for Sports Direct. So I've done a few of these away say shows now, and a lot of the other clubs have said, yeah, you can clearly see that Mike Ashley's running the club into the ground. So it's good to get that outside perspective. And yeah, I think to have an owner like Vichai would have been amazing. And obviously it's good to hear that you are grateful for everything he's done. One of the first things that has happened since Vichai obviously passed and his son's taken over was the sacking of Puel. What went wrong with him? Because he seemed like he started really well, and then just all the brakes just got slammed on the team, seemingly.
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting one. I mean, taking it straight back to when he was appointed, straight away we had, tens of Saints fans coming on saying, "Oh, you don't know what you let yourself in for, all this, all that." And I mean, all the mainstream media, TalkSport, 5Live, whatever you listen to, they were saying, "But look, he took him to the League Cup final the year before. How can football fans ask too much?" But it's deeper than that. It's the style of play. It's under Puel, it was. I don't think it suits the Premier League. I don't doubt his credentials as a manager. Tactically, I'm sure he's great, but maybe in a slower league, maybe in France or Italy. But yeah, the Premier League, it was too monotonous. The fans were starting to just not want to watch Leicester play. We knew that we were going to rarely score more than one goal in a match. And yeah, it just wasn't exciting, especially coming off the back of the success we built on the counter-attack under Ranieri. Which went wrong in the end, but to be then faced with this slow build-up and stuff, I think it was a style of play that got him out. And plus, I'm sure he's a nice man again, but his personality wasn't charismatic. It was hard to buy into him as a person, and I think that's ultimately what finished him fan power, really.
Yeah, I think he looked on the touchline those last few games. He looked like a lost man, and I think there's obviously a lot of talk about player power at the minute, and it looked like the players just didn't care about him anymore. But I think everyone knew he was going to go. Obviously, Brendan Rodgers has come in now. Quite hilarious that he just left Celtic in the middle of a season when they're about to win a treble or whatever it was. But he seems to have done the business so far, got a bit of new manager bounce. How has he done?
Yeah, again, Celtic fans are a special breed of fan. We've had a fair bit of grief from them. But I won't mention the SPL and the standard set there. But anyway, Rodgers, it's an exciting appointment. Totally opposite to Puel. People are excited. I mean, if a lot of people probably saying, "What's he going Leicester for? Small club," and all that nonsense you hear. But I think he has chosen wisely. If you look at our squad, it is a young squad. It's a squad that's probably willing to give its all to someone like Rodgers, who's proven himself in England, with Liverpool in particular. It's exciting. We're scoring again, 4 on the bounce in terms of wins. It's the same group of players, that's what we've got to remember, but they just seem galvanised, and I think that says a lot about him as a manager and what he can really drag out of the players. Even when you look at the senior players like Jamie Vardy, he doesn't show any signs of sort of slowing down. So yeah, it's exciting times.
Yeah, so when I've watched it does just seem like you've got a zip in your step again. And what do you think he's likely to set the team up like against Newcastle? Because it's really likely that away from home we're just going to try and consolidate because we don't have the quality to do anything else, really. How do you think he's likely to set up against Rafa's team?
Yeah, I mean, just looking at the stats, so Newcastle, I think you've got the third fewest away goals all season, and you've only beaten Huddersfield and Burnley away, I think that's correct. So yeah, I expect Newcastle to be on the back foot. I expect us to sort of try and push the game to you. Always look for that early goal. I think with the amount of creativity we've got now in Tielemans, Maddison, and then wide options in Gray and Barnes, not to mention Vardy, I think we can't really set the team up any other way than just to go out and attack, and that's the exciting thing. Again, without being biased, I do think it's a case of how long Newcastle can sort of hold on for without potentially conceding. But I think the longer the game goes on, as in football, you're more likely to score and potentially rob a 1-0 win. But I think if we score early, we're going to win 2-0. Maybe 2 or 3 is my prediction.
Yeah, I think you're probably right, and we have just lost, arguably our best defender, Lejeune, for the rest of the season. He's only just come back from another massive injury, and he's injured himself again against Palace, so we'll be missing him. Yedlin was also really ropey against Palace, and on the whole, we had this amazing run at home where I think we won 5 on the bounce, and we looked really good. And then last 2 performances, I mean, I didn't have too many problems with the Arsenal performance because it was Monday night at the Emirates, and it's just one of those games that you never win. But against Palace, we just didn't have the quality again. So away from home, we do have the potential to sneak a win. We obviously did it last year. I was there last year. Perez dinked Schmeichel, which was, I broke me watch. I went absolutely mental when that goal went in. And we can do that to teams sometimes, and the squad of players is pretty much the same. But everyone seems a bit down at the minute, and I think there is a bit of complacency setting in terms of safety. When you look at Newcastle's team, do you see any way that we could maybe sneak it, where the areas of quality might be?
Yeah, I think it's no secret that your biggest asset, well, in my opinion, is Rondon at the moment. I think his strength, could turn into a physical battle with one of our centre-backs. And a centre-back partnership is probably the one area of uncertainty at Leicester. So I won't be surprised if we saw Wes Morgan start just to try and handle Rondon. But I think if he's going to hold the ball up, and I think that's your best bet. Or beyond that, a counter-attack. Kasper Schmeichel has been at fault for his distribution this season. I don't think we can criticise his shot stopping, but yeah, if you pick up the ball in a dangerous position and catch us off guard, I think that's probably one of your best ways of scoring, I'd say, for this one.
Yeah, we're not going to control the game, and most of our football this season has basically been, I think you've seen it, and you won't have watched Newcastle that much this season. It is essentially try and get the ball up to Rondon, get the players around him, and then on the break, we've obviously got Miggy Almiron on now, who is lightning, but we haven't seen him do anything too amazing yet. But maybe this is the game it can come good. Perez was in great form, but seems to have drifted a little bit. So it's hard to tell with Newcastle. But I think in terms of a prediction, we won there 2-1, I think it was last time. I'm going to go for a 2-1, but the other way around this time. I think we might sneak a goal, but I think you'll have too much for us in the end, especially with our players missing. So what was your prediction again? What did you think?
I said 2-0 on our podcast, so I'll stick with 2-0, and I just think Jamie Vardy's going to score. I think he scored an important goal in that title-winning season up at St James's Park, and he's on red-hot form at the moment. So, yeah, 2-0, Jamie Vardy to score first, I'd say.
Yeah, I think that's fair enough. He's in the fantasy team, so I'll make him captain on the back of that, I think. But I think that probably about does it. Thanks for coming on once again. All the best for the game tomorrow night. And yeah, thanks for coming on. Thanks very much.
Likewise, and I hope you managed to shake Ashley off. I think I've seen rumours that he might be selling up, but who knows? But yeah, all the best.
He said he's gonna sell up every day of the week, but it never happens. It's just a way for him to flog his name again, I think. But yeah, we'll get there. Thanks for coming on.
Right, nice one. Cheers.
Cheers.